What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Dog Benfica Podcast. My name is Alfredo Fumaças. With me, as always, Cristiano Oliveira. Cristiano Oliveira!
Como é que é?
What's happening, man?
Been a hectic day. Anxious, crazy day. But, you know, I'm here with the family, with the boys. My brother David on the other side of the border. You. We got spectators here in the studio. I mean, you know, it's pretty good. Pretty good evening. Ready to talk about some Benfica.
Yeah, that's right. Dave de Oliveira, what's happening up there in the Great White North?
Nothing much. Good to be back on. We all got the week's holidays last week, but ready and refreshed to talk about Benfica. Lots of games to recap and preview this week.
What holiday was that, Dave?
No, my holidays. I was at. We were supposed to do a podcast last week, and I was on vacation.
I thought it was like a holiday in Canada.
Well, it was your birthday. We all had to take the week off. You know,
it was your birthday. It was Peggy's birthday.
Everybody.
It was everyone's birthday.
Are we live?
We are live.
What's
up? So apologize for not coming in last week, but here we are.
We have a mosca in the studio. Foi mandado por Pinta Costa. They try to eavesdrop on us. Hey.
So anyway, we got a lot to cover for you tonight. We have Moreirense, Spartak, and Aroca recaps, PSV preview, and Gil Vicente preview. We'll try to get to everything. Of course, we don't want to bore you with all the details of the older stuff, so we're gonna try to breeze through that. But let's get right into it. Episode 415 is what we're up to, if I haven't mentioned that, but we are now.
Who link? Where's the link?
Diz lá o link, pá.
I don't know. You tell me. Where's the link? Estamos no YouTube.
Tá no YouTube. Vai lá ao YouTube.
How you do that?
Get the link, and then once you have the link, you have the link.
That's how it goes?
You have the link, you have the link.
Oh, I see episode 415.
415. Now just link. I think you press this button over here.
Agora share. Faz o share.
Faz o sharing.
Vamos fazer o share.
Thanks everyone for you guys that have joined us this early. Again, we are going to here we go. Let's start with the Moreirense game, the inaugural game for the Liga NOS, Liga B win, rather. Sorry, I have to correct myself on that. Liga B win, first jornada, Benfica against Moreirense. I'll give you the lineup. Vlaco Dimos was in goal, Verissimo, Otamendi, Vertonghen across the back, Gonçalves and Dias on the wings, Maite and Tarabt in the middle, Everton and Waldschmidt on the wings, and Ramos was up front. Let's give some context to this lineup, right? So, Benfica obviously involved in qualifying for the Champions League. JJ said the priority is the Champions League. I personally don't have a problem with that, with the priority being the Champions League. Yes, because I think that right now at this juncture of the season, I think the priority has to be the Champions League because not only for monetary reasons, obviously, but for also the historial and the prestige of a club like Benfica cannot be out of the Champions League year in, year out. Not that we have been, but every year we need to be there because of our history and our tradition. So I do understand that the priority is what JJ said was the priority is the Champions League, and I agree with him. And the Liga NOS is 34 games. So we have a lot of time to recoup any points lost early on, but we're doing well. Cristiano, what do you think of this lineup? And let me ask you a question, right? This lineup, and also understanding that we've already played another game, and there's been some changes in the lineup. Does the fact that he's able to make 4, 5, 7 changes in these lineups and still put out a decent product? And granted, Benfica hasn't been tested yet There's a big test coming up on Wednesday. But do you feel confident that this roster is deep enough with the guys that we have on the bench?
Well, I think you hit it on the head when you said Benfica hasn't really been tested. And so when you're going up against the likes of the great Spartacus and the Rocas and Moreirenses, right?
Spartacus.
When you go up against those types of teams, you're able to easily rotate. And, Benfica is deep enough for these secondary teams, at least, that they can put out their secondary lineup and still breeze through matches like this. Now, against Spartak, he fielded what he thinks is the Benfica's strongest 11. But you see in the other games when they pretty much rotate 7-8 guys out of the lineup that they're able to do the job just as easily as everyone else. And so, look, I'd much rather be talking about winning these games against nobodies with rotating 15 players in and out as opposed to our disaster start to last season. So very much welcome. JJ, whatever you're doing, keep it up. Come Wednesday, mais porrada. Agora, now it's the teams from the País Baixos, right? That's how you got to say it now. It's País Baixos. The lower countries. I don't know what that means, but
the lower lands.
The lower País.
It was Netherlands. Now it's the lower lands. I don't know. If to me, it'd always be Holland. So, but anyway, a game that could have been hard for Benfica is when we travel up north. There's always fields are smaller. Things are more compact. Teams defend. First game of the season, there's always some jitters. There's always some excitement in terms of the teams. But Dave, early on, 9th minute, 1-up Benfica with a heads up play by Veríssimo, who was able to benefit off of kind of a pinball play, get his head on a rebound or a clearing, and got that goal in. Then in the 19th minute, 2-0 by Waldschmidt, heads up play by Waldschmidt, who benefited from a loose ball in the box. But Benfica did give up a goal before the half. But Dave, what did you think overall of this game? Was it something that you were expecting?
Well, it was always good to get the quick goals right off the bat. Many episodes last season, we spoke about Benfica not capitalizing on their chances early in the first half, and that just allows these smaller teams to close up shop and really start parking the bus. So getting those two quick goals right off the bat kind of opens up the game and allows Benfica to play. Second half is a different story, but always good for us fans when Benfica gets the quick goals. Releases a little bit of the stress and tension on ourselves here.
Yeah, and second half, Diogo Gonçalves really makes things interesting for Benfica, and in a play where JJ has mentioned that the players that have been playing both games are showing signs of fatigue, and to me, this play by Diogo Gonçalves just looks both of frustration. He's got a dribble. He's stripped of the ball. Then he chases after the ball and just lunges and hits a guy with his studs on his ankle. There was a foul at first. There was a yellow card. VAR goes and reviews it. And as soon as I saw the replay, I said, this is going to be a red. But Cristiano, Diogo Gonçalves, who has been the guy that got some minutes, right? I don't think that Gilberto is even competition for Diogo Gonçalves. He makes a play like this. This is the type of play that coaches absolutely lose their effing mind when they see a play like this, leaving Benfica with a 1-goal lead with still 30 minutes to play in the second half. And it was a difficult play.
It's a knucklehead play. Whether it's from a veteran, a pup like this guy, a guy with not that much of experience. But nonetheless, it's even more frustrating when the game is pretty much in the basket. You're controlling the situation. And all of a sudden, you go and make things a lot more interesting than they needed to be. Luckily for him, Benfica were able to come away with the 3 points. But I think this is one of those plays that if JJ were to get upset at a young player like this, a lot of people will be trying to call out JJ that he doesn't like young players, yada, yada, yada. But the guy gives you an opportunity. You can't squander opportunity that you get with knucklehead plays like this, man. I just think he needs to understand the situation, needs to be aware of what's going on. And luckily, it didn't cost Benfica. And so hopefully he learns from this. It's a learning opportunity. It's a guy that throughout, I'm pretty sure his whole youth career wasn't asked to track back much and defend. And all of a sudden, he's playing a whole unfamiliar position to him. He's still adapting, but at the end of the day, he needs to be smarter. And I like to think the coaching staff took the opportunity to explain to him, to try to get him to understand that there's a time and place for everything. And he absolutely needs to use his head in situations like this going forward.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, if you're competing with somebody for the job, this is a play that will cost you your job. Fortunately, Andre Almeida is still coming back from injury. We saw his debut against Aroca, his comeback against Aroca. But I don't know if Diogo Gonçalves has much in him anymore. Once Andre Almeida makes it and he's fully healthy, do you think he's going to get much more playing time? Or you think it's going to depend on the system because he's a guy that's obviously more vertical than Almeida?
But I think Almeida could do the same thing he could do. And again, I told you this last year, Alfredo, and we've had this conversation on air, and we've had these conversations off air. So, I mean, very if I'm lying, you have no problem calling me out on it. I wasn't as impressed as everyone else was last season by the Diogo because I expected a little bit more.
Yeah, especially in the final third.
That was my whole defending. Yeah. Look, he's going to go through his ups and downs. If there's hiccups, I was willing to work through that. But I thought that he could have been better going forward. There was a lot of times crosses into the second post. The guy was making an early, the run to the first post. He's going second. I just thought a guy that was a national team player throughout the Portugal ranks, throughout his whole youth as a midfielder, I thought he could have been a little bit better going forward. And, and again, he had his moments. Definitely had his moments, but he also had his he had his moments as well, his negative moments.
He had his moments, and then he had his moments also.
Yeah, he had a couple other moments. But so to me, it's not like he's been the hands down guy that's like I talk often. You got to grab the opportunity, got to grab the bull by the horns. I don't think he's done that. I think he squandered a couple of opportunities. We see it now, and now you get a veteran back. In Andre Almeida. Good thing for Gonçalves is that I don't think Andre Almeida is going to be ready to play week after week, 90 minutes. So he's still going to get plenty of his opportunities, but he has to knock out these dumb plays.
Yeah.
Hence, that
they're
one play.
Costly. They could be costly.
Exactly. So I think they're slowly going to play Andre Almeida into the lineup, but I don't think I don't think Andre Almeida can't do what Gonçalves could do. I mean, not that he can't do.
Yeah.
Did that make sense? He can't do that.
Yeah.
I think they both can do the same thing. How's that? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They have moments and then they have moments also. Andre Almeida was saying
moments and bad moments.
Patrick Gomes was asking, does Andre Almeida have a shot of breaking back into the 11? And as you heard us discuss, I think that once he's fit, I think there's a good chance. But
when your other two options, Gilberto and Diogo Gonçalves, I mean, it's not.
But here's
is it really tough to get back into the 11?
But here's the other thing with Andre Almeida. Nothing really would surprise me if Andre Almeida is also used as a third center back on that right-hand side. Because, first of all, he's got the stature, right? And he's got the defensive defensive know-how. So it wouldn't really surprise me if he's used as one of the third center backs. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Well, we did. At first we were using him like a Swiss Army knife, right? We put him in a couple of different positions. So let JJ work his magic and see if he can be put back there as one of the center back pairings too, right?
Who, Almeida?
Yeah.
Yeah, Almeida. Look, in an emergency situation, I think Almeida could play that role, and and I think it's less on his body, right? He doesn't have to do doesn't have to do the wing up and down. I think he gets to conserve his energy and his body a little bit more. But again, I think Benfica is well served in center backs, at least for now. We got plenty of options. Morato's jumped in there, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I think Andre Almeida is going to be another welcomed addition to the Benfica's right side. And again, I can't believe we're on the Benfica podcast, welcoming and being, saying we're glad. Obviously, we don't ever want to see somebody be injured and be out for long periods of time. So that aspect, we're glad that he's back. But I'm talking about in terms of his playing a bit. We're actually like positively
looking
at this guy and welcoming him with open arms And it's just how time has changed.
Yeah.
Things
What
have
is
changed.
it? Time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
No, it's not only that, and I think that both Cristiano and I are from a time where we used to seeing Benfica absolutely demolish, and this is before the Vietnam, this is before JJ. So our expectations of Benfica and what we felt was normal standards has always been much higher than what it is now. And when you look at players like Andre Almeida, like Pizzi, and we look at them and the stature that they currently have for the club, and when you compare them to other guys that we've grown up watching, nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. But that just shows how the level of expectations and of demand has gone down.
Times are different.
Times are different.
Times are different. You know,
Different moments.
Nowadays, as we all know, I don't think I'm breaking any news here on the Benfica podcast. Anytime anybody shows any type of promise on a consistent basis, these guys are gone ski.
Yeah.
You know, they're gone quicker than a Benfica counter-attack on Rafa.
Well,
You know what
I mean,
gone.
Let's not forget that that was a Benfica pre-Bosman law, right?
No, but even after that, we've had some guys who we consider idols. After that, even after that, Alfredo, we've had.
Yeah.
I mean, not a lot, but we've had João Vieira Pinto, Simão Sabrosa. We've had guys. I mean, not a lot,
right?
But we've, the good guys. We've had them stick around 4 or 5 years, and they got to make a case for themselves. Now we look at these guys as far as Almeida, Rafa, Pizzi. These guys have been around for. They're the first ones in club history to be around for, what do you call it? Pinta, Tinta, Nina, Santa Maria. What is it? Like 3, 4. What's it called? 4 in a row. The three. I don't.
Penta.
Tetra. There's all these. Yeah, it's all these names in Portuguese. But yeah, these guys are the only ones in the club history that have done so.
That's right.
So we like it or not, hey, they're right then and there. They get their spot in the Hall of Fame. They're legends right there. They're the only ones that Jardel, Feja, they're the only ones that have accomplished that.
Yeah. And Davey Hen is saying, I'd love to see Jota given a chance. How many chances do we give Everton? He's been below par, and I think Jota and Embolo on the wing couldn't be worse than what Everton has shown.
Love you, Davey. Come on, Davey.
Everton he finished the last season on fire, and we thought, okay, well, the adaptation period is done. We're going to see a new Everton come the new season. But so far, and look, it may have a lot to do with the Copa America. Didn't have much time to relax. Went back to Brazil, took his head off the game. But yeah, he has yet to get any traction, Everton.
Thankfully, we haven't needed
it. He's
saving his bullets.
Yeah, in terms of Jota, I don't know. I think that Jota has gotten a lot of chances and really hasn't gotten
Jota can't
there.
play at Valladolid. He's going to play at Benfica.
That's a good point.
Guy was averaging, 10 points? 10 points. Jeez, I'm basketball term.
10 minutes.
What does he have, 10 minutes a game over there by Valladolid? I mean, come on. The guy can't even play on the B team. I mean, let him tear up the B team. Those of you familiar with the American sports, baseball, guys play in the major leagues, they get sent to AAA, right? They make you can't deny me. I'm coming. They tear up AAA and they get called back up. Let him do his thing in the B team. If he's really that good, let him do it there, and he'll get his opportunity.
Yeah, and Embolo, I think that Embolo will get.
He'll get an opportunity. But
he'll get an opportunity.
A year away. He's possibly a year away.
I think he'll get an opportunity, but I think that you will see some playing time this season, whether it's going to be in the cup or not. Yeah, I think he will.
Well,
he's absolutely tearing it.
I don't think he will because of this. You call me, romantic or one of these fairy tale guys, right? Call me what you want to call me, but I believe once Benfica gets past PSV, Benfica is going to sign at least another winger. We need a legit winger on this team. We got Everton on one side, Rafa, and then Pizzi split the other minutes. We need another guy, and I think Benfica will go get a left back, a right back, and another winger. I believe those are the 3 positions Benfica is going to try to reinforce to really attack the group stage, baby.
Yeah.
Win 2 games in the groups? When was the last time we did that? I can't even remember. But, there's a goal. Hey, small steps, right? Goals, baby. Accomplish your goals. Set all your goals.
Important 3 points, especially to start. Dave, what numbers you got on this?
This was actually Benfica's 8th season in a row, starting the Portuguese league off with a victory Did I say, yeah, 8th consecutive. So last season opening loss came in 2013, 2014. And so good to get off on the right foot. I know JJ's record under managing Benfica and getting off to victories isn't the greatest, but good to see 8th consecutive season that we've opened up the Portuguese league with a victory.
It's always good to
I
start
know
on the right
for
foot.
a while there, JJ was kind of like tripping out of the starting grid,
Yeah.
right? For a while there, Dave. I think like 3 or 4 years, like draws, I think they but I guess.
No, as a
they
matter of
straightened it
fact, this start by Benfica, and obviously counting on the official games that Benfica has played so far, I think we have equaled 2017, 2018 by Rui Vitória. But before that, it had been 30 years. It was 30 years ago before we tied this starting record, if I'm not mistaken, Dave.
Yeah, the other one was Oswaldo Ferreira, and then the other two were by Sven Goran Eriksson.
Yeah.
So it's only been done 5 times in the last 50 years or something like that.
Yeah. Shifting gears to the Spartak Moscow second leg at Stade Luz, and let me tell you, Cristiano, nothing more satisfying than to hear fans at Stade Luz, and albeit only at a small percentage of what the Luz will hold, but still loud and emotional. And look, I think that this Spartak game was really. I don't think that Spartak is even in the same league as Benfica.
Dave, I hate to do this, Dave, but Dave, back me up, Oliveira.
Yeah, but wasn't this their 100th year? Wasn't there? This was supposed to be their year.
Dave. Yeah, they were going to play with extra emphasis.
Well, we can't forget the Rui Bombo.
They had that extra investment. They invested another $3.58 on a player, Dave. I told you guys it was a cakewalk. You guys kept comparing it to PAOK. I mean, come on. That last year was a fluke.
Yeah, well, it could have been. It could have been.
We're gonna go down there.
Let me give you the lineup and we'll get started. Vlaco Dimos, Veríssimo, Otamendi, Vertonghen, Gonçalves, Grimaldo, Weigl, João Mário, Rafa, Pizzi, and Ramos. And again, emphasis on the stronger 11 with Weigl and João Mário. We had Maite against Moreirense to start the league, and I don't think he played bad, but he still needs some time. But Weigl and João Mário in the midfield, it just gives you a different set.
Maite is that little thing that Messi walks around with, right? Sipping on Maite.
Mate.
Yeah, mate, herba mate.
Oh, that mate is mate.
No, that's how Australians refer to.
I've never drank that.
My mate.
I've never drank mate. Is it good? You guys drink it? No. You drink
I
it?
haven't had it.
Never had it. I'm not a big fan of tea. We had not that type of tea, at least.
Baileys.
But anyway, Spartak came to Stade Luz, and they're down 2-0, but instead of going on the attack, they're on the defensive.
They couldn't. That's Rui Bombo.
Yeah.
Benfica, try to catch Benfica sleeping with a pontapé para frente.
With a bombo para frente. Benfica pounded on them really early. But we didn't get on the board until the 57th minute by João Mário, who got his first goal with a Benfica jersey.
Sporting, thank you for not wanting him. You guys didn't want him. He sucks. Appreciate it.
Well, they just didn't want to pay the money.
No, they didn't want him. If they really wanted, they would have paid the money. That's
Never mind Sporting. How about Inter? They got to go sell Lukaku, and they got to go sell this player, but yet they let João Mário go for free. Couldn't get $2 for...
They let him go for free. Come on, don't be naive, Dave. Don't be naive. They let him go for free. When Benfica qualifies for the Champions League, Lazar Zuzu will come for like 38 million, and the 7 million will be involved in there.
Yeah. So look, easy.
The competition has been subpar. These are the types of games that Benfica has to win. We've said this so many times. Subpar competition is to do exactly what Benfica has done. And I know it's not one of these games, or haven't been these 4 games that we played. It's not something that you should be looking back at the end of the year like very proud. Look at those moments. But at the end of the day, you did what you had to do, and that's part of being a good team. You win the games that you have to win, and you battle it out in the tough games. And so credit to Benfica for putting it together. Credit to JJ. Credit to everyone that's been involved. We all know it's been tough because of the whole COVID situation. It's been tough because of the president getting locked up. It's been tough because of the doubt from last year that a lot of us have still hovering over this club. A lot of people still don't believe in this squad. A lot of people still don't believe in JJ. And they're doing what they have to do game by game. They're doing exactly what we all thought they should have done, which was beat these teams. And it did. So, you know what? Carry on. Next game, Gil Vicente.
Yeah,
so we'll get to that because we got to still talk about Aroca, my Aveiro, my hometown, back in first division. I'm not from Aroca, but they're from Aveiro, so my hometown. Whoa, big up.
Cristiano, you're a citizen of the world, man.
I believe so.
That's
Thank
all
you.
that matters.
That's. I'm gonna get a shirt. Cristiano's a citizen of the world.
That's right, global citizen. No, look,
get on that.
I think Cristiano brings up a great point, albeit not very hard games, still games that we need to win. And when you look at an August where you have Benfica playing 8 games beginning of the season where the legs aren't completely there yet, I mean, games like this, we'll take them all day in the same manner that we'll take the Roca game.
Now, the important thing is you win these games. So far, we've won all 4 games pretty easy, right? The confidence level starts to build.
Yep.
You start getting that win streak. You guys, you're in the locker room. We start looking at each other and like, yo, we can do this. We got momentum, right? So much so that who knows? Going to the next game, things get a little bit tough, and like, yo, guys, come on, look, let's go. We've been doing this for the last couple of weeks. We can do this.
Yeah.
Because it's all about confidence. It's all about timing. And right now, the timing has been right. The confidence is, I don't want to say at an all-time high because again, they ain't beat the likes of Real Madrid, but they're doing what they have to do. And that's what's important because we all know we'd be here killing them if they weren't playing reasonably well. They're not demolishing teams. They're creating plenty of opportunities. I think if there's a knock so far early on in the season is that we haven't been as clinical as we should be. And then against tougher opposition, you're not going to get 15 opportunities a game. So you're going to have to be clinical. You're going to have to put those away. And so we could definitely get better, which should give us more confidence because we're winning these games easily, but there's still a tremendous amount of room for growth.
Yeah.
And so, look, all in all, applause, carry on, and let's just keep these wins coming because the confidence is going to get to a point where, we believe we can do anything, and that's important for a player on the field.
Yeah, just a couple notes on before we close out this Spartak. We saw Yaremchuk make his debut, and he was involved in Benfica's second goal. And also Morato came in for an injured Vertonghen at the half. So we saw those 2 guys get their debuts. Cristiano, Yaremchuk, from what you've seen so far,
my man. Look, 17 million well spent. Woof! 17. I mean, look, the guy seems like he's a complete package. He's not just a guy that's going to be in the box waiting for everybody to, or not waiting for everybody, but what we like to call cherry pick, right? He's a guy that could create for himself, could get others involved, and obviously you give him an opportunity in front of goal, he's going to do what he has to do. And so I think we should all be very encouraged. Again, subpar competition. It's not like you had Pepe marking him, chasing him all around the field. That's really when we're going to see if this guy's battle tested. But nonetheless, it's an impressive start. It's the first game, a new club, new teammates, the language barrier. I think it's a very, very positive start. And the guy showed you that he's a killer. And so I'm excited. I honestly think this is a huge step up from everyone else we have on the roster.
Yeah. Dave, what'd you think of Yaremchuk?
Yeah, I'm all on the hype train with him. It's going to be interesting to see once all these strikers are healthy with Seferovic and Darwin and even Pino. I think some of these guys are either going to be loaned or sold after the Champions League qualifying is complete. But all positive so far on the Yaremchuk train here.
I'll tell you this much on Darwin, just to hit on this, because as I told you guys 10 minutes ago, I really firmly believe this. If Benfica win, they get past PSV, I think Benfica is going to go to the market and they're going to try to get 2 to 3 players. And I've mentioned the winger before, right? The only way they don't get a winger is Sverovic stays. Vinicius, I think Vinicius is as good as gone. By the time September rolls around, he'll be gone. So it'll be Pinu, Ramos, Darwin, Pinu, yeah, Darwin, Sverovic, and Yaramchuk. I think from what we saw last year, Darwin is not, in my opinion, not a box guy. He's a guy that you've seen him at his best when he's running with the ball with space in front of him. I think there's a possibility he might play on the wing, and especially in this new system where you're playing with one guy up top. That's going to be Yaramchuk. I think Yaramchuk is really going to have to mess things up in order for him not to be the guy up top. And so you got to get these other guys in the game. You got Everton on one side. You got the speed, the velocity, the power, the physicality of a Darwin coming in. I think that might be a place where he's going to play, and therefore I retract that my previous statement where Benfica is going to go get a winger, because I believe that he could potentially be that guy that could play, in a 4-4-3 or 3-4-3, right? Because it's not even a 4-4-3. He doesn't play that. 4-4-3 would be too many guys too, right? Yeah, that'd be no goal. But at least I caught myself. But you get what I'm saying. In a 3-4-3, he could do the whole flank. I think it's early, but I think there's something to look out for.
Yeah. Nunduk is saying Brighton keep offering money for Nunez. I'm hearing 35 million. Why isn't Benfica taking this opportunity?
I agree.
I'm there with you, but I think a lot is hinged on Champions League qualifying.
You think that's what that fly is here checking? They're here on behalf of Brighton to see what we say about Darwin? Because look, keeps running. I mean, he's just flying around, doesn't stop.
Anyway, now getting to more recent games, Benfica versus Roca. Benfica won this game 2-0. I'll give you the lineup. And this was the return to the 4-4-2 because of Vertonghen being hurt and Verissimo obviously being saved up for PSV. Vlaco Dimos in goal, Gilberto Otamendi, Murato, and Gil Dias. Maite and João Mário, Pizzi and Everton, Waldschmidt and Yaramchuk. Yaramchuk getting his start. Look, let's talk about this game, because I actually had the chance to do the recap on Benfica Independent for this game.
Great job, guys, by the way, you and everybody else.
And obviously you can't talk about this game without talking about Benfica's first goal, right? That came in the 9th minute. And so if you guys haven't seen the play, there was an offside. The linesman raised the flag. The ball ended up at the goalkeeper's hand.
That was a goal.
No. Wait. Okay. You got to talk about the red. He's talking about the red card first.
I'm talking about the red card.
I heard the goal.
It was an offside. It was an offside. Well, right. It wasn't a goal.
Yeah.
It was an offside. The linesman raised his flag. The ball ended up at keeper's hand. The referee gave the advantage, signal advantage, never blew the whistle. The goalie rolled the ball forward out of his box to take the free kick, which he thought there was a dead ball situation, which it wasn't. Yaramchuk took advantage of the situation, went to the ball, tried to dribble the goalie. Goalie was outside the box, handled the ball, got a red card for denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. Look, for me, it's really simple. And as somebody that is a certified referee, and albeit that I don't ref at that level, right? There's a lot of times that in order to keep the game flowing, and chances in situations like that, you let the game flow. You don't whistle it dead, especially when the keeper gets the ball and there's no clear advantage for the team that it was the infractor, right? So with that being said, the linesman did his job, raised his flag. At that point, if it's me and the guy did the same thing, he gave the thumbs up to the linesman, told him to lower his flag, and pointed, let's play, advantage, with his hand. At that same time, the linesman also pointed with his hand to play on. Never was a whistle blown. The play was live. Look, to me, it's just a dumb mistake. And I think that all these guys say, oh, bon sense, common sense and this and that, and in the spirit of competition, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. It's a professional game. You should know the rules. So go ahead, Christian. Go ahead.
I disagree. I think it's one of these plays where I don't think anyone was wrong, but I don't think anyone was right. I think it was a total misunderstanding by everyone involved. And at the end of the day, look, you can revert to you play to the whistle. I get it. But guys, look at the replay. And again, look, this was against Benfica. And I have no problem saying if I was Roque, I would have felt like I was done wrong. Look at the play. The goalie gets the ball, and as he dives for the ball, he's laying sideways across the box, and he's facing the linesman directly. The linesman has his flag up the whole time. Now the referee turned around, the referee signaled play on, turns his back on the goalkeeper. And again, I just think it was a total miscommunication by the referee to the linesman.
There was no miscommunication. The communication was clear.
No, it wasn't clear because the referee.
It was clear. He told him to put the flag down. And he said, "Play on."
Alfredo, I'll show you the replay of the instant. I'll show you the replay, and I just saw it before. The when the goalie gets the ball and he's laying on the floor, the linesman has his flag up.
Mm-hmm.
He has his flag up.
Yep.
So I don't know. We don't.
And what does the referee do?
Again, the goalie's looking sideways.
What does the referee do?
Hear me out.
Okay,
it's a miscommunication.
There's no miscommunication.
Well, the referee could be telling the linesman, "Drop your flag, lower your flag."
And he did.
And the goalie, if I made my point, you'd understand.
Voila.
You see clearly the goalie has his head up and he looks at the linesman when the linesman has the flag up. I can't say when, at what point. I'm assuming you can't confirm. The referee can't confirm. Nobody. Maybe he took his eyes off the linesman, right? To get back up. He saw the linesman. The flag was up. In the instant he turns his head, whatever, the linesman drops the flag. I think it was one of those plays where it was total miscommunication by everyone involved. Now, I guess the one that you could put the most blame on is on the goalkeeper because he has to play to the whistle. But it to me is clear as day. Guys, you guys chatting in the chat, you guys listening today, tomorrow, whenever the hell you're listening. Appreciate it, though. Thank you very much. Check out the replays. Check out the play. He's clearly looking at the linesman. And again, who's wrong in that instance? Wait, did the linesman lower the flag as soon as the referee talked? We don't know. That's my point.
Yes, he did.
I watched the referee turned his back to the play, started running the other way like this with his hand up, signaling play on. The linesman's got his flag up, and I'll put it up here, Alfredo.
Cristiano, what's the first thing that referees tell you, even as a kid? Play to the whistle.
The first thing they tell me, shut up.
Play to the whistle. You're obviously watching a recap of the game. There was multiple replays during the game that showed all the action that went on. Giving a thumbs up, tell him to lower the flag, play on signal. That's it. To me, there's the communication. There's no lack of communication.
I don't think you're understanding
Technically,
me. I don't think you're understanding me. The second the goalie gets the ball, looks at the linesman, and I'll show. I'm gonna get it up. The linesman has his flag up. I don't know at what point, but I could defend the guy. Say, yo, look, he took his eyes off the linesman. Hey, look, he looked up. Flag is up. All right, turns around. In that meantime, the linesman brings his flag down. It was just a total lack of communication by everybody. And I think it's one of those plays. I think it was messed up on their part, on Aroca's part. Look, it's a clear handball outside the box. It's a red card. I'm not disputing the red card. I'm not disputing any of that. It's clear as day. I just think that there's a clear mix-up between the linesman and the goalkeeper. That's my opinion. It's not going to change. I watched it over and over and over, and I'm going to pull it up here. You'll see the minute he gets the ball, he's laying on the ground. He looks up, and the linesman's got his flag up. That you can, and I'll show you can't deny it. Now, did the linesman bring the flag up at some point? Yeah. Did the linesman say play? Yes. I can't tell you at that point if the goalkeeper's looking at the referee, at the linesman. I can't tell you. I don't know when the goalie took his eyes off the referee, or the linesman, I should say. I don't know. But you clearly see it here. And anybody that's listening, go to YouTube, check it out, check out the play. The goalkeeper gets the ball, looks at the linesman. Linesman's got his flag up. Now,
what happened? Did he hear the whistle?
No, I just told you
hear the whistle.
I just told you didn't hear the whistle.
Then how is that? It's poor understanding of the game rules by him.
But didn't I start that off?
Communication was there.
The referee, was a bonehead play by everybody involved.
No,
I think they're all to blame.
Not everybody. Technically, and I'm saying this because I'm a certified referee. Technically, that referee did everything right by the book.
Fast forward to the second half. a corner against Benfica. Benfica clears the ball. Maite is coming out. Maite is coming out with the ball, right? Offsides at the linesman, raise the flag. Benfica's got the ball. Maite gets pressure. The referee calls offsides, brings the ball back. It's a similar play. There was a offsides. The referee let it go on. When there was pressure on Benfica player, he called it. Why? At that point, let it go. Benfica's got the ball, playing advantage. Second half, too, it happened because I just think you could blame the goalie. At the end of the day, he has to play to the whistle. I will agree with you, but there's a total lack of communication, man, by the referee.
I don't think there's any lack of communication.
Okay, I'm gonna show it to you.
There's no lack of communication.
That's fine.
The signal was clear. The signal to the linesman to put the flag down was clear. The signal to play on was clear. There was never any whistle. There's no communication.
Okay, Alfredo, I'm gonna stick by what I
and
say.
I can tell you that because during the game they showed multiple replays of the play, which you might not be seeing on the clip that you're watching on YouTube. I'm telling you, they showed multiple replays, and technically, as a referee, that referee couldn't have been any righter in the way.
The referee at the end of the day
execution.
just defends himself and saying, "Look, I didn't blow the whistle. You got to play to the whistle."
The
That's it.
execution, the signaling, the body language, everything was there. The goalie just thought that the flag's up. It's an offside.
Look, he's a knucklehead for doing so, but I could totally understand the mix-up. That's me. And look, I played in those situations. I've been on the field plenty of times. People screaming and I could totally see how the
whistle.
I think when I started this, I said he loses argument because you could easily say, "Yo, you didn't play the whistle."
So you can't say that there's a lack of communication.
Oh, this is not it.
You can't say that there's a lack of communication.
I think it was a lack of communication by the referee in the lines because
No,
the linesman kept his
how
flag
can you say
up.
it's a lack of communication when everything that he did is by the book?
The linesman kept his flag up.
After
not
when
really.
he signaled to them, he put it down.
He puts it down, and the keeper is still looking at him while he's putting it down.
Dave,
Might be a split section.
Dave, that's the part I told you. I don't know, and none of us could confirm whether he was looking at him or not. Well, you confirm he was looking at him. I can't confirm if he was looking at him or not, Dave. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
No whistle. Ball is live.
Okay. No, that part you're right.
As
I just
simple
think.
as
Look,
that.
I bet you right now. I will bet you. I'm gonna say some stupidity. I'll be quiet. I'll bet you anything you want. If that happened to Vlaco Dimos, everybody on my chat, everybody Benfica will be screaming and hollering me because the flag was up.
Not me.
Okay, that's fine.
Not me.
You guys are entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
So anyway, so obviously that red card conditioned the rest of the game, and Aroca just defended themselves. Benfica was very patient in trying to break through, and Waldschmidt did serve Yaramchuk, who's got his first goal in a Benfica jersey in the 8th minute, and then before. I'm sorry, Yaramchuk served Waldschmidt, and then Yaramchuk got the feed from Pizzi in the dying minutes of the first half to get Benfica up 2-0, and I think that after that Benfica just managed the game. Something that I wanted to bring up here, first game for the league at Stadio de Luz. Again, good to see the fans in the stadium. But another thing is the return of Andre Almeida, and I know that we've already mentioned it here, but to me, it's a significant moment because anytime a Benfica player, and obviously Andre Almeida has the experience, anytime a Benfica player goes down for a lengthy time period, and this was 10 months with a very serious knee injury, and is able to return, obviously it's always a good moment or a highlight, if you say. For me, I don't know if people feel like that. I know that there's not a lot of Andre Almeida lovers, but still, the guy came in the 30 minutes that he came in, at least some of his crosses were accurate.
You don't have to be an Andre Almeida lover. You have to be a football lover, and it's good to see players come back after devastating injuries like that. Anybody who's played any type of sport, anybody who's gone through an injury understands and knows how difficult it is to get back to your best, especially when you're on the other side of 30 already. And so, credit to Andre Almeida for today. I will not say anything negative about you. I love your mustache, by the way. It's good to see your gray hair back on the field. So, Stilo, I'm glad he's back. Glad is another player that we count on going forward. Not going forward on the field. I'm saying going forward in future, future games. But yeah, but going forward too.
Adding to the depth.
Yeah. So fantastic, Andre. Appreciate all your hard work because sometimes, man, some players just can't recoup. They can't get back to their best levels. And credit to him. And it doesn't matter if it's my favorite player, Benfica, or the player I despise the most, which I don't despise anybody, but player I dislike the most, I should say. You never want to see anybody be injured long term, and so I'm glad he's back, and I hope he's just he's ready to go 100%, and he like you just said adds to the depth. And mais defender a nossa score.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So another a game, and again, when the games are coming fast and furious, regardless of how you get them and how the ball bounces your way, it was a game that played into Benfica's hands, and certainly the bonehead play did make it easier. Dave, numbers and facts on this game.
Yeah, to some that we've already touched on. Waldschmidt scoring a goal in this match, has now goals in both league matches this year, has scored in consecutive games, something that he failed to do all of last season. So good to see he's on the mark this season so far. Yaramchuk has now been involved with Benfica's last 3 goals, the shot against Spakhtar and the assisting goal this past weekend. And Benfica's now won their first official matches to open up this season, something that hasn't been done, like we said, since the 17-18 season. And that's only the 5th time in the last 57 years that Benfica's opened up the season with 4 straight victories.
Look, I'll tell you this much. If Waldschmidt was to just play the initial 7-8 games of every season, he'd be the highest paid player in the world.
He had a good start. He had a very good start last season also.
Yeah, the guy scored like 5 goals in like 6 or 7 games. Fantastic. Yo, go off of that and then hide him the rest of the season. The dude will be one of the highest paid players in the world.
But here's the thing, right? He's taking his opportunities as opposed to Gonçalo Ramos.
Gonçalo Ramos, I mean, look, I don't know. Between him and Everton, maybe these guys are playing quem bate no posto mais vezes. I don't know. And if that's the case, hey, he's doing good. He's got 2 already, right? One against Moreirense, the crossbar.
Yep.
And now the one that, I mean, the guy, I think the hardest thing to do in that whole play was hit the post, and he hit it. So credit to him. Maybe that's what he was trying to do because, I mean, he's by himself time. And so, look, he needs to start. Yaramchuk's coming. We're not coming. Yaramchuk has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. My man burst into the door and say, "Oh, I'm here." And if you're not taking advantage of those opportunities, I don't want to hear Alfredo and my brother Dave in a couple of, oh, he doesn't play. Oh, this is big boy soccer. You get opportunities just to put the ball in the back of the net. And you can't tell me it's not he's getting them. I don't want to hear it. He ran all day long. Good. Fantastic. Awesome. That's my man. He hustled. All right, good. Sign him to a new 4-year
That's
deal.
what we used to describe as Chervi. Oh, he runs hard. He plays hard.
So he's young. He's good. He's getting in those positions. But listen, the big boys are coming. Sverovic will be around the corner. You got to take it for if you want to play, you can't miss that.
Yeah.
You can't. He's just, I'm not getting on him. I want I want every single player of Benfica to win the Ballon d'Or. Right now, the leader in the clubhouse is still Everton. No, not Everton? What's his name? The right back, Jefferson. No, what's his name? The right back. Gilbert Pedersen. Who's Pedersen? We got a player named Pedersen.
I said Ederson.
Ederson.
No. Maybe in the U17s or something. I don't know. No, but Gilbert's still my man because of that goal he scored. He's still the leader in the club. But I want every player to do well. And Alfredo, I talk my trash and but I want every player to do well. And I want Gonçalo Ramos to do well. But things become tough for him. Under a coach like JJ, who many know is not, the biggest fan of young players, and then you getting by yourself opportunities in the 6 when no one around and you're hitting the post. And then you got other guys coming off the bench making their debuts and making everything look easy. Those opportunities are going to be few and far between because Ferovic's coming. Darwin's coming.
Is coming. I don't know.
Hey, Sverovic was the man.
Who's going to be scared if you say Seferovic is coming?
Gonçalo Ramos. It might be the only person, but he knows his minutes are dwindling. All right.
And look, this Aroca game, albeit an easier game, I can't help but to say that there's a part of me that was frustrated because we should have come out of there with 3, 4, 5 goals easily, with the level of or the lack of efficiency that we had. And if you guys follow our podcast in the beginning of the season or the preseason, I said one of the things that Benfica is not doing is that we're not creating enough chances. And right now, what Benfica is doing is they're creating a lot of chances. They're just not putting the ball away. And it's like it's a law of averages. The more chances you create, the better chance you have of putting the ball in the net. But the efficiency needs to be there because you play against a team like PSV. You got to have that efficiency because if you don't kill it, they will kill you. So good win for Benfica. And look, it sucks that it was at the expense of that mistake of the bonehead play, but let that be a lesson to that goalkeeper. I'm sure you will always listen for that whistle going forward. On the related news, Benfica loaned out. This is the shit that I hate, Chris, about the Tugão. Benfica loaned out Thiago Araújo to Aroca.
But why do you hate that?
Because of the
Couple of
timing
days
of
after
it all.
the game.
So what's the problem?
The timing of it all, because
See, but
the conspiracy theorists are going to say, oh, yeah, já estava comprado, já estava
Stop
comprado.
looking at it in a negative way. I mean, I look at it as the president. I'm be serious now.
President was there. They did the
President
deal in person.
The president was there. Opa, when is it a better time to speak business with someone
Than
when
face to
you're
face.
face to face? And look, we're a small club.
We're a small
We're a
club.
small. No, but it's
You're talking about Aroca.
yeah, that goes for everybody. We're a small club. We know you got players you want to loan out. Your B team players are starters on our team. They're gonna help me fight and battle for survival. Hey, what do you got? This is what I got. Oh, okay, I'll sell it. I'll loan. Oh, okay. That's how business, guys. I know all of you are now into text message, all this crap, but if you watch the broadcast of the game and you saw Aroca's president, do any of you guys in your right mind think that guy could even send a text message? I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
That dude.
Pull up a picture of him.
I gotta look this guy up now.
You see the interview?
Pull up a picture of
That
him.
dude can't send no text message, man. Come on. He's like, Opa, we're going to be in the building. We'll talk in person.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, but a lot of people will say, "Oh, já tava vendido." You guys, people will say, "Oh, Aroca committed 2 fouls the whole game, and that's because they opened their legs for Benfica, and here's their reward." Blah blah. People are always gonna say shit like that. You know that. It's just the timing of it all. It just sucks. But anyway, it is what it is. Moving on to next game. Actually, Benfica's next game is against PSV, and this is going to be the real test of the season.
Hey, pull up the guy's picture.
I got him up.
Pull up the
He's
president.
a nice silver fox, this guy. I'll tell you that much.
He's a silver fox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. PSV, tough test for Benfica. Game comes up this Wednesday, 8 p.m. local at Stade de Luz. Dave, you prefer playing at home first or playing at home in the second leg?
I always prefer playing at home the second leg, but that's the reason of the draw. It's a 50-50 chance, but we got to make the best of our opportunity on Wednesday. Can't give PSV any hope going into the second leg, but I always prefer playing the second leg at home.
Yeah, and let me remind everyone that the aggregate or the away goal advantage, that's no longer in play. UEFA did away with that, so we shouldn't need to be worried. I don't know how I feel about that, because I think that if Benfica can play their game at Stade de Luz, take advantage of that, get the result, and then go and I'm not saying play for a tie, but more like manage the game away in Holland rather than playing away and then coming home to Stade de Luz with the pressure. I don't know. I think I agree with you. It's 50-50, Dave, but I think that there's a lot of people that would prefer to finish out at Stade de Luz. What do you think, Lionel? swing that mic over there. Here. There you go. What's for you, man?
Ultimately, I agree with Dave. It's better to close out the leg at home, the second leg at home, but we can't. At this point, that can't be in our minds. This is the task we have to do. Let's get the job done at home, and close out second leg. These past couple games, we kind of just been managing, which is fine. The only thing I'm worried about is that now you can't start off the game managing. You got to go for the kill now. That kind of worries me since we're still early days, and the results have been positive. Are they ready to go for the kill first minute? And we can't miss our opportunities. At least bare minimum. Well, the win obviously is long. We just want the win, but at least if we could get a 2-goal advantage in the first leg, that'd be ideal. But it all depends. I think at this point, with not having the away goal, I think that takes a little pressure off of that. I don't think it's as weighted as heavily as it was in previous editions, how the Champions League usually was. So I don't know that we could look into that too much. We worry about ourselves. We get the job done, home and away, and let's just hope for the best and be positive. And let's see what we do. I'm curious to see who starts at center back. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. Otamendi's healthy. Verissimo's healthy. If they go with three, I think we might even see Morato there.
Morato.
Because Vertonghen is hurt. So I don't. That's what I think that we may say.
And right back.
I think that Diogo Gonçalves still gets it. I think that. Yeah.
Does Pizzi get the nod?
I think that Pizzi gets the nod. I think that he's going to go with the strongest lineup, and I think Vlaco Dimos, Vertonghen, Otamendi, and Vlaco Dimos, Verissimo, Otamendi, and Morato, Grimaldo, and Gonçalves. I think we're going to have Julian Weigl and João Mario, Pizzi, and Rafa, and Yaremchuk up front.
No Everton.
So I don't think Everton is there yet.
So Pizzi over Everton for you.
Yeah.
I don't
not for if I look at two players, right? And both players are level in terms of their game rhythm, I'm picking Everton over Pizzi. I'm not the biggest fan of Pizzi. But I think that where we are right now, I think he goes with Pizzi.
Okay. I'm more of the opinion that if he's picking his starting 11, his best starting 11, Pizzi's not in that lineup. He's a great player. He can fill in any game, but I don't think he's not a natural winger. And in that system, it may have worked against, the opponents that we face now. But as we verse these stronger teams, I don't think Pizzi's in the lineup. And I don't think even when we play Porto, I also don't think Pizzi's in the lineup. Regardless of form. And, well, that's just personal opinion.
I'm with you, man.
What the old man thinks. It's up to him. But
that's the thing. We don't know what's in his head. We don't know what's in his head. But I think that if Everton if Everton has game rhythm, I think he has to start over Pizzi every single time.
But Everton might bring something off the bench more than a Pizzi does too, right? So it might be easier to start a Pizzi in the starting lineup, see how that works. If he is not giving it by the 60-minute mark, bring in Everton and he can give you that splash off the bench too, right?
Yeah.
Plus, this is August. This is when Pizzi is in prime form. This is where he's scoring 4 goals and 6 goals, and then he can snooze off the rest of the season after he's already bagged in a couple of goals. So this is prime Pizzi time right here.
Yeah, Dave, what numbers do you got on this PSV team?
Yeah, historically we've met 7 times, 2 wins, 4 draws, 1 defeat. Last meeting between the two clubs came in the quarterfinals of the 2010-2011 Europa League. Benfica advanced during that meeting on a 6-3 aggregate. Benfica's all-time record against Dutch clubs: 10 wins, 9 draws, 6 losses in 25 official matches. And PSV's coming into this match on prime form, undefeated this season across all competitions, 6 wins in 6 matches. So
Hey.
it's going to be a real test here.
Hey, Dave, the next time you do these historical stats, right? Now, I'm not trying to be.
I know where you're going with this.
Give me
You're going
like,
with the PK.
no, I don't know what you're talking about. Give me like the last 25 years. Those are the stats. I don't want to hear about the 60s with Eusebius, smashing everybody.
Well,
right?
no.
But
Stan, I'll tell
I
you.
want to know the last like 25 years.
I don't know if you want to know the last 25 years.
I do.
No, the last 25 years, yes.
Yeah.
But if there's any memory about PSV that comes to mind
88.
is the loss in the Champions League
88.
final.
No, but I'm not talking about PSV. He said Benfica all time against País Baixo's clubs, 10-8 and whatever, right? I don't want to hear about that's
Why not?
great.
That doesn't count.
It does, but I want to know.
What are you, Vieira?
But I wanna- yeah,
Benfica has only existed from 2008 on.
I want to know the last 20. Yeah, because
What about in the 60s?
because
We
I
can
will
live
bet
off
you,
of that.
I will bet you 10 of those wins, 8 out of 10 of those wins came before God knows before 94.
Before they played with
Now you
Piton.
have me intrigued. Give me some time here. I
No,
wanna see
because
where-
no. But the point is this, guys. The point is this. It's not just Holland. It's the historical numbers again. You name the country. Because Benfica's been so freaking putrid in European competitions over the last 25 years that these numbers where they were once impressive, you break them down to the last 25 years, they're freaking putrid. That's why I want to know.
Where's the positive Cristiano?
Oh.
You got you there, brother.
No, I want to know because I'm trying to be positive. I'm waiting to
Yeah.
be positively surprised.
You got you there. PSV usually lines up with a 4-2-3-1. Mario Götze is one of the names that you recognize on this team. But one of the names that you want to keep in mind is, as Sergio Sequeira mentions it, Madueke, which apparently is going to be the next big thing to come out of PSV and to fill their coffers is going to be this kid, winger, very fast, talented, technical, and I think that this is going to be a good test. And if
Grimaldo's going to have his skating ice skates on.
Well, maybe Gilles Dias, but the thing is that so far we've kind of praised and we've looked at this Benfica team and felt encouraged by everything that's going on, but certainly this PSV game is going to be a game where really we're going to see where the litmus test is with this Benfica team and where this Benfica team is at this stage of the season and early on. Personally, I think that Benfica has the talent and the quality to beat this PSV team. But I just think that we can't be wasting the opportunities that we have wasted in these past games. That's going to be the key for me. Because if you put away half the chances that you create, you're going to be left in a very good position. PSV team so far, as Dave mentioned, 6 games, 6 wins, only 2 games allowed. There's a spanking in the Super Cup of Ajax 4-0. They got past Galatasaray. They got past Midtjylland to get to the stage and to force a match with Benfica. So I don't know. Cristiano, I asked Dave this question earlier. Do you prefer playing at home first or playing at home last?
Last. Easy. Because then you know what you got to do. But again, now, because of the away goal rule not existing, I mean, I guess to me it doesn't really matter. But I would, because if you go on the road, you score that first goal, and then you come home, defend it, and you got your fans behind you. I thought playing at home was a better, second leg was a better advantage. Now with the away goal gone away, I'm not sure anymore. So I mean, I'd have to see a little bit more, but I probably would still prefer to play at home the second leg.
Yeah, with the away goal not being a factor anymore, I think Dave had mentioned it was a 50-50. I think I'm there too. One of the guys that did the Rescaldo, he says he prefers to play at home first. because it kind of
Set the tone.
and it reminds them of that fixture against Juventus where we played our game at home, and then we went to manage the result. And I'm not saying play for a tie,
but
now the other team has to come to you.
Agreed. But that's when you play a big team. If you get to set the tone at home, like Juventus was the favorite. When Benfica is the favorite, I'd rather play the second game at home. But when Benfica is going up against a team like that year, right? Juventus is supposed to steamroll us. It's the big almighty Juventus with these, world-class stars and all these millions invested. Then it's like, okay, look, we catch these dudes with the pants down. We're in, baby. And, that's, I think, when it works in your favor. But I've always been a fan of playing the second leg at home because, by that time, what you have to do. What you've measured your strengths already against other teams, and if you have to go all in, defend. You know what I mean? I think it favors, and in my opinion, it always favored. I like that. I'm trying to read you, and I'm trying to talk at the same time. I thought it favored the home team playing the second leg at home.
Yeah. Also coming up this weekend is a game against Gil Vicente, one of the few teams that's still undefeated in the Liga B win. Dave, what do you got on Gil Vicente?
I didn't break my historical stats here from 1990, Chris. So
Gil Vicente might have not existed beyond 50 years, so you're safe, Dave.
Okay, 33 wins, 7 draws, 5 defeats. Last season, we split the matchups between Gil Vicente. In Barcelos, we won 2-0. However, we lost 2-1 at home, which was ultimately our final nail in the coffin last season for the league. And like you mentioned, Alfredo, Gil Vicente is still one of the undefeated teams this season after beating Boavista and Portimonense the first 2 weeks of the season.
Are we really keeping undefeated stats after 2 games?
Why not?
It's 2 games.
They have yet to allow a goal, and they're in second place in the table
after a whole 2 games. Fantastic. Pack it in. Can we stop the count? I bet you that's what they're all saying. Stop the count.
Stop the count.
Their Twitter account, probably.
No, look, and as Dave mentioned, I think that Gil Vicente gave us a hard time last year, but who didn't give us a hard time last year? But it's a game that comes after this PSV game, which obviously is of extreme importance to Benfica. So Benfica needs to get past the PSV game and refocus domestically on the task at hand against Gil Vicente. And obviously, on paper, Benfica has everything to
There'll be another rotation. Like
handling.
I said before, it was key that they were winning these games that they're supposed to win. There'll be another rotation. Hopefully, look, Benfica handles their business against PSV on Wednesday. I have the utmost confidence that Benfica can get through this playoff as well. It won't be as easy as Spartak, but I still think Benfica is the better team. I think Benfica will get through, and then you play the reserves. And I don't think it's for against a competition, against an opponent like Gil Vicente. I think Benfica's secondary guys, right? The suplents. I think they're capable.
Be good enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're capable of handling the business and getting Benfica another 3 points.
Well, especially what we've shown in terms of squad rotation and the quality being there, not being too much of a drop off in terms of quality. I think that JJ is quickly winning a roster and winning a lot of players on the roster. There's always going to be guys that are going to be left behind, obviously. But you can't say that guys are not getting chances early on and they're haven't stepped up to what the expectations are.
And Alfredo, we've had countless conversations since last season about what the hell transpired last year. What went wrong? What didn't go wrong? And I know a lot of people criticized JJ, and a lot of people cracked on the fact it was COVID because every other team had COVID. But I stated it here, Dave, positive Cristiano, right? When you give JJ time, you give him a proper preseason, the guy is able to get his teams playing relatively good football.
Oh, you didn't give him a proper preseason last year?
No.
How come?
Just Guys had to run freaking 8 feet apart, right? They couldn't come in contact.
Well, that and he came straight from Brazil too.
Yeah.
A couple of like a week or two, and then they had the Paok game.
Yeah.
if I'm not
You're
mistaken.
biased because you're a JJ lover, Christian.
See, I have no problem admitting I'm a JJ lover, but if you're telling me you had a proper preseason last year, you're naive.
He had enough tools to do the job. You just
Again,
couldn't do it.
Oh my God. If Benfica would have played the second leg at home, if it was a 2-legged affair, Benfica would have demolished them 4-0 at home. Unfortunately, they didn't have that luxury to play a second leg at home, and it's on JJ. JJ dropped the ball. But I have no doubt Benfica would have not demolished, but Benfica would have beat them 3-4-0. And maybe the whole attitude, maybe other players would have come in. Maybe we're sitting here talking about a whole new team, but look, we don't live on maybes and what ifs. But the fact is, I think it's undeniable when JJ has time to prepare his players, when he has time, a proper preseason, everywhere he's gone, his teams have played good football. I didn't say they're champs, but I don't think we saw good football last year. We would have at least seen good football. You give the guy the proper amount of time.
Sergio Cerqueira saying that our boy Maite can hold it down against Gil Vicente. He had a great game against Tarouca. Yeah, I did think that he had that. And I think that within 3-4 games, you'll be seeing
You might have to count.
Maite with João Mario.
You might have to count on Maite in a game like this with a lot more physicality, a lot better horses, a lot better, caliber player in a PSV. You might have to count on a Maite in order to bring in that presence, that physical presence in the midfield. Weigl, good player, we all like him, but he lacks that physicality, that aggressiveness.
Yeah,
Maite's an imposing dude. You going up against Maite, you better be ready.
Yeah, no, and when you look at JJ's game ID and game model, you know that's the guy that he prefers, a guy in the middle that's going to bring that physicality. Because look, I think actually from my playing days, guys that step in between lines, and you could, on a 50-50, you could be physical with them and make them aware that you're there, and every time he's going to be in that space, you're going to be there to meet him. That is the type of Maite, player that Maite is. He's going to assert his presence. He's going to make his presence felt, and guys are going to think twice when they go for a 50-50 against him because he's strong. And I think that's the type of a player that JJ likes. But not only for his physicality, but also what he could do. He could protect the ball. He can make a pass. We've seen some long-range passes from him. Composure on the ball. I like what I've seen so far from him. But I do think I'm a firm believer that in 3-4 games he's going to be the starter, and Weigl will be relegated to the bench or be a rotation player.
Weigl will be wearing Chelsea blue.
Yeah. Sergio Cerqueira is also saying, send in your questions. Before
Sergio, I just want to touch up on Davey. Davey, by the way, all you guys, man, I appreciate it. Love you guys. Thank you very much for participating in the chat, man. This is why we started doing it live, because we want to interact with you guys, and it's fantastic. I absolutely adore it. But as Dave said, right, if it's and buts were candy and nuts, SLB went into that game knowing that it was, basically a single game against Paul, and they dropped the ball. And I said that. JJ, that's on JJ. We all know JJ's messed that one up, and I'm the first one to say it. But at the same time, David, we all know they play that second leg, it ain't going to be the same result. But again, they didn't have it. We're playing the ifs, right? And we'll never know. Fact is that JJ dropped the ball, and it was a disastrous season. And so, fan or no fan, the only reason I didn't jump on the whole get rid of JJ wagon was I give him a pass for last year. I think last year was a very difficult situation for any coach. But again, when it's at Benfica, the pressure hits differently than any other team. And COVID, Benfica struck 23, 24 members of the staff and players. It wasn't easy at all to handle. Should have done better. Even that being said, they should have still done better. But I'll give him a pass for that. I think right now he's quieting his doubters, silencing his doubters. He's doing what he has to do, as we stated. Very weak opposition, but last year, even through this weak opposition, we couldn't breeze through it as we are this year. Yep. So credit to him, credit to the players for having a bounce back year. And we all know the pressure's on. We all know these players want to show to everybody that they weren't, as crap as they were last year. And JJ himself understands what's at stake. So let's go, baby. Keep it moving.
Sergio Cerqueira is also saying that Gil Diaz looks promising. Look, to me, as Gil Diaz going forward, I think that he offers a lot. My problem is him defending, and he really hasn't had to defend that much against the opposition that he's had so far. But Cristiano likes him because he's from his hometown. The many hometowns that Cristiano has.
Come on, if that's not my hometown, then
I already told you the best guy to come out of Gafanha, the biggest talent to come out of Gafanha is Cristiano Oliveira, not Gil Diaz.
Coentrão's grandparents from my hometown. He spent every summer.
Yeah, but Coentrão is not from Gafanha.
No, he's not, but he spent every summer in my hometown. That's where he learned. That's where he learned how to dye his hair with the blonde. The
7 degrees of Coentrão that we were playing.
Bro, you guys are just jealous. I mean, call it what it is. Who comes from Alkshit? Shit. Who comes from Alkshit?
Sergio Cerqueira also said, do we ever start Weigl and Maite together to shut down a midfield in UCL? Yeah, it's possible. I think that Weigl could play 8.
Yeah. Not now, because right now, the way João Mario's been playing, nobody's going to play over him. So now, to answer your question, when Benfica makes it through the group stage, and Weigel's on the team, there's a good possibility. But right now, there's no reason. Look, it ain't broke. You don't fix it.
We should change João Mario's name and his initials of JM to Joga Muito.
Oh, contra aqueles mancos. You ready for that? Hey,
we'll see.
The guy's been absent from the national team for like 20 years, and all of a sudden he has a couple good games against some mancos, and he's back on the radar. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Look, Sergio Cerqueira also says JJ deserves another season to implement it. Look, I'm with you, man.
Sergio's a smart guy.
The thing with me is that whatever margin of error JJ had, he's already used up last season. To me, I expect nothing but League Cup, Taça de Portugal, and a good showing in the Champions League. That is the expectation that I have of JJ. At least 2 domestic trophies and a good showing in the Champions League.
I'm on board with all 3, but the problem is when you play that other team with the referees, the best play. I mean, it's rough to go up against referees, man. That team's stacked. That referee team.
You got to play just like at JJ's first year. You got to play enough that you can beat referees and all.
Look, I think right now, Benfica is doing the right thing, concentrating on the Champions League. We'll talk about that. We'll get to that when we get to that. Right now, objective number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's to get in the Champions League and do what you got to do. And then look, a competition at a time, a game at a time. Benfica is definitely deep enough to attack these, Taça de Cerveja games and everything else.
Because that's also going to, as Cristiano mentions a lot here, and he's mentioned quite a bit, getting in the Champions League is going to open up doors for other players to come in. So after that, it might be a whole different season and roster that we're looking at. Key players, I would say.
What if they don't make the Champions League?
If they make the Champions
League. There will be players coming in and out. I think at minimum 3 players will come in.
3 players.
Minimum 3 players will come in.
Fullbacks. Forward.
No, for what? You're gonna get rid of forwards.
Fullback.
I told you 2 fullbacks. 2 fullbacks and a winger.
2 fullbacks.
2 fullbacks. A right one and a left one.
Wow. We're gonna trade Gilberto in a bag of balls for somebody.
I think Gilberto will be gone. I think there's a great possibility Lazaro comes in, and that's a guy that can play right back, he can play right mid, he can do the whole flank, especially in the 3-5-2. He could absolutely do that whole flank. So there's no need for Gilberto, believe it or not, you guys like to crack on him, but no Brasileirão, o cara é craque. Got a lot of market out there.
Did you see that? I sent a picture of the group chat. There was a dude that went and got his vaccine, and he had
It was Dave.
Yeah, it was Dave. Dave's messing around with his mic. He got a vaccine, and he had like a scarf from the team he represents, and he said, "Vacina não dói, que dói é ter o Cortez na lateral."
Oh yeah, I saw that. No, I think that was Portuguese, dude.
No, that was in Brazil. That was in
Brazil. Damn, even in Brazil, they're cracking on him.
Yeah.
Man, must be rough.
Davey is always saying you think JJ will stick around with his buddy behind bars. He said it many times. The only reason he came was because
but
Luis
JJ
Vieira.
But JJ signed a 2-year deal. He clearly
he's
said
locked. He's locked in.
He could have gotten more. He said no, 2 years.
He's locked in.
Yeah.
I think that
I think he's locked in. If they
he's locked.
Calm
Maybe
down,
locked
calm
is
down.
not the right word.
If we have the freaking Nazar, man, the bad luck of not going through PSV, I honestly think there's a good chance JJ will step down. But that's if they don't make it through. That's me, my personal opinion. I think he's gonna say, "Look, I came here for a job. I failed twice. My guy ain't here. I know you guys are against me. You understand the pressure?
There's a good chance.
I think there's a good chance he steps down. Me personally, I think it's a good chance.
There's a good chance that if things don't.
This doesn't matter what he does the rest of the year. Nobody's gonna care. It's gonna be back-to-back failures. It's gonna be you're attached to Luis Vieira. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody.
Yeah.
They don't care what he does the rest of the year.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that the pressure is going to be too high. As I mentioned, whatever margin of error that he had last year, he's wasted, or that he's wasted it all on last year, regardless of COVID, regardless of anything.
The question is
just way too many failures.
The question is this: even let's just say, because you think we're crazy, I'm crazy, but let's just say he doesn't step down, right? Let's say, I mean, I don't even want to entertain this, but we'll just play this through.
Humor me.
They don't get through PSV, and he doesn't step down. Does Rui Vitória, Jesus Christ, does Rui Costa then turn around and say, "Look, I gotta distance myself from this guy if I really want an opportunity to win these elections, whenever the hell the elections are going to be"? Alfredo, honest.
I think he has.
Do you think he distances himself?
I think that Rui Costa has to take the pulse of the fan base.
Okay, and the pulse is negative towards JJ.
If the pulse is negative, there's a good chance that he has to separate himself, because here's the thing.
He's going to be trying. He's going to be looking for brownie points.
Obviously. Yeah. So if separating himself from JJ wins him the election, it's probably what he's going to do.
Because separating yourself from JJ, separating yourself from the past, from the other direction, right?
Well, it's not only that, but you're also saying this is not good enough for Benfica. We need better. And the fact that you didn't make a Champions League, I think it's a failure. It's a big.
And who do you bring in? Verissimo? It is what it is.
I don't know. Maybe you bring Fonseca. Fonseca is out of a job.
Fonseca, come on. Fonseca going to MLS. No, he turned it down.
He turned it in. That was Atlanta, right?
Yeah, Fonseca's out of a job. I don't know. Will Fonseca take Benfica's chair? That's a big question too, because he's already had bad experience at Porto. No, if JJ has a very successful season, I think that he'll continue. I don't think he's going back to Brazil.
I don't think he'll be back either way. I don't think he'll be back either way. Call me crazy. I don't think he'll be back.
Victor touched the saying rescue Jardim from Saudi Arabia. I think we tried at one point before we got Lage, and Jardim just wasn't interested in coming to Portugal.
Jardin's so great. How come nobody hires him? It's Monaco. Nobody's hired him. How great can this guy be? Guy has to go out to the Middle East to get a job.
Well, it's like JJ.
But JJ é brasileirão, cara.
Foi para a Arábia. Foi lá no Brasil.
He was ready to go to Barcelona, but he didn't speak English.
Or Spanish. Never mind that Catalan. Anyway, that is all we have for you tonight. Thank you everyone for checking us out. Those of you that were active on the chat, we appreciate it very much. Thanks a lot. At 10CO10 at 87DO87 is where you can find Dave and Cristiano on Twitter. At Benfica Podcast is where you can find the podcast on Twitter. We're also on Instagram, and we're also on Facebook. So if you want to communicate with us through there, that's where we are. Thanks a lot. Next week, PSV breakdown, Gil Vicente breakdown, and look ahead for what we got next coming up in August, which is probably not much.
In August, we're in the
else.
middle of August already.
No, but we're gonna have maybe at least a couple more games in August, right, Dave?
There's Tondela, and then
And
there's some. That's it. And then there's an international break.
Tondela.
You guys didn't make your lane
cock
of the
joke.
cocks joke
cock
either.
joke.
Yeah,
Dave, you beat me to the point. I was going to say the most impressive thing about tonight's pod is we actually got through a whole pod talking about Gil Vicente and no cock jokes. But
that's right.
Dave messed it up.
That's right. Yeah, the cock thing gets old after a while. Take care, everyone. Have a good week. Be safe out there.
Valeu.
Later.
Falou.